We're going to take a quick look at this play. That's the an almost interception from Savage. I think it's the first one. I don't like that I have to specify that, but that's that's the world we live in, I guess. So we've got and some of this. It's interesting to me, the kind of the two high versus one high, and what you're looking for, and how play action influences that, and just a couple topics that really interested to me when kind of learning about this defense, digging in a little deeper during the offseason. So kind of what we're looking at here. So it looks like two deep pre-snap. You have, and this is a concept. The Vikings are running a concept we looked at with the Packers actually this week, as a matter of fact. That's kind of this Portland concept, Portland idea. So it's a dig from Jefferson on this side, and then kind of a deep post slash split that too high with Thielen from this side. And so what you're trying to do with this against too high, and the reason this works, or the reason it can work, is against too high, you're hoping to pull, especially, you got a guy like Jefferson, not just using him as bait necessarily, because if this, plays a different way, then you throw that dig route, but you're hoping to get a really hard push on that vertical stem there, and you pull that safety down, which creates a void in coverage up here. It's a small square, but, whatever, we're not exactly working to scale here. Creates that void in coverage there. This safety is playing over the top of here, and then that gives the quarterback a window to hit him there. That's basically what we're looking at. So against one high, the families of safeties, if we're looking at family of safety coverage, a little more in depth than this, but the basic families are middle of the field closed, which would be kind of a single high. If, say, this guy drops back, let's just say that guy drops back. That's middle of the field closed. Because the middle of the field is closed, he's what you call post safety, because he's able to fall under the post. And against too high, it'd be middle of the field open, because that middle of the field is open. So you can group your coverages into those two categories. So against middle of the field open defenses, this concept, again, can work well, because with this dig, you're pulling that guy down, and then you just attack through the middle. This guy's over the top, because that's how you play it, and then you have a nice window to hit him. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, what happens, and we'll see this a little bit more from the other angle, what will happen with the Packers? The Packers are going to spin Amos down and spin him up. So right now it looks like middle of the field open, no post safety. As it turns out, Savage is going to be your post safety, because it ends up being single high, and we'll look at this from the other angle. It makes, we'll be able to see this a little more clearly. So here's what we do. Cousins sets. You've got, what looks like here. Now he's thinking, against too high, this guy, is maybe pulled up down here, which means you've got this coverage here. So he's coming here. You've got a man over the top. I'm going to throw it over the top. I'm going to throw it right there to that man. And I don't think, and I'm not Kirk Cousins, thank God. And so I don't know exactly what he's thinking. I don't think he sees him. And we'll see this from the other angle. He throws up to Thielen. I don't think he thinks Savage is back there. And we'll talk about why that is here in a second. So you can just see, if it goes off his hands. We can see in this picture here, too high. And this one will kind of take a little slowly from this angle. So this is too high. This is pre-snap. Cousins looks up. He sees the too high. Now this is where the spinning of the safeties post-snap. Okay, we got right here. It's a good place to stop. He's showing the ball. They've got this wide zone look. His back. Now his back is turned. I did this with Aaron Rodgers earlier. Kirk Cousins' head, he's looking it in. That's what you're supposed to be doing. He's got his body turned. What the spin does is it takes advantage of the moment when the quarterback can't see you. A lot of quarterbacks don't necessarily like play action specifically because of this, because the picture can change. I mentioned this in another video, but you're looking at, you got a pre-snap picture and you got an immediate post-snap picture. And when you're dropping back, you see all that clearly. You can see this guy's moving here, this guy's moving here, the pressure's coming from here. You've got a blind spot right now if you're the quarterback, because you've got your head turned. Now, play action can do a lot of good things. It can say, draw these guys up, and it create a pocket back here. But some of the bad things it can do is it muddies the picture. Now you turn around and things look a little different. This is not a too high look. This is a single high look. Well, now that post shot is probably out, because we've got a post safety back there that we can't hit that. So maybe that goes to the dig, but and that likely should go to the dig, because these guys are pulled up. But again, that's kind of all the considerations. Some of you hear about the upsides of play action. Some of the downsides are, and defenses prey on that because defenses are smart. He's got his head turned. That's where you see a lot of these spinning safeties. Let's make that picture not as clear as he maybe thought it was when he turned his back. Now we're going to watch Cousins when he snaps his head around, because this is important. He looks down. He kind of turns. I mean, when he turns his head, he scans. He's not really focusing on anything. Maybe he sees that safety, maybe he doesn't. But to me, it looks like, and we'll see this in a second, we'll run it back. He drops back. He sets. He locks onto that post. Now, if we look right here, that dig, this is the dig here. That dig's open. And he's not looking yet. But if that ball comes out here, Amos can't get there in time. If he looks back earlier, that's a really nice window to hit him in. And so if this is not play action, or I guess if it's not play action, these guys are dropping a little bigger. But if he sees that it's spun to single high, this likely goes to the dig, just because of the nature of this concept and what you're looking at. I don't think he sees it. He locks on. He chucks. I don't think he ever sees it. So we're going to take this slow here. There you go. He's walking up. We got the 2 high safeties. He's kind of looking a little bit. He quick snaps it. Fake it. His head pops around quick. When he's set, he's locked onto the post, and he never looks anywhere else. So again, maybe he scans and maybe he sees that safety there. I have a hard time believing he scans and sees that safety if the first thing he does is lock onto that post and say, I'm gonna hit that post, man, because it doesn't make any sense, because he would know the post safety's back there. So again, just kind of something a little fascinating to me, and I'll run this back from this, just that nature of that push pull, the analytics community, which I'm a big fan of, but the analytics of run play action's good, play action will help you, and for the most part I agree with that. Play action is not dependent on having a good run game, just your willingness to look at run out of certain looks, those kinds of things. I don't believe the numbers are lying. I do love those numbers. I like the kind of what we get the insight into that. But what I've been fascinated with some of this is the human element. The quarterback's eyes are turned. Okay, defenses see that. It's not about what the numbers say. It's not what are the averages here. It's about, okay, defenses now see this. They got their backs turned. Okay, how do we take advantage of this? Okay, when a quarterback has his back turned, we spin these safeties. We make this a little muddier. We do that, and so you're taking a strength of an offense, play action that really with McVay and the Rams, that they really ramped up usage of that. A lot of teams then followed suit as well, and were killing defenses with a lot of those digs, a lot of that stuff across the middle. Now it's the waters are getting muddier because defenses are reacting and saying, okay, that split second where the back has turned. How do we take advantage of this? And so some of the 2 high stuff, again, this is a 2 high look, but it's not a 2 high look post snap. And so pre snap that's 2 high, post snap that's single high. That picture changes. So just been one of the stories of the past couple of years that's been very interesting to follow, and I thought that was really interesting to look at here.